Remember for radio with your host, Jen T.
Yeah, fucking Jen is a warlord.
You're worth it. 3 words we have all heard at least 1,000 times, right? You're worth it. But do you really understand what that means? It's a beautiful reminder to us all that we have worth. You have reason and rarity. There is value in each and every one of us, including you. That is precious even on the days you might not feel it. You never depreciate in value. Those words are there to remind you. So to all those watching who feel like that or have ever felt like that, focus on what I'm about to say and repeat after me. I'm worth it. Okay? Maybe that felt great or perhaps that felt weird. Let's go again. First, take a deep breath and let it out. Forget the naysayers and silence the critics, even if the harshest words are the ones you say to yourself. Do not doubt yourself, and this time speak it louder, really loud. I'm worth it. And the next time you hesitate before going after something you want, the next time you blush and brush off a compliment, the next time you doubt your place in the world, in the workplace, in your home, or in your own skin, say these words to yourself: I'm worth it. And I know you will always say it like you mean it. I'm worth it. Because you are. And always will be. Got that?
Welcome to Rambo Per Radio. I am your host, Jen T. Twitter and Instagram at Jen T523. What's good, motherfuckers? Whew, what a crazy week. Another crazy week. I first off will have to apologize to y'all. I promised that I would not drink and do a podcast, and by God, did I break that rule last week. I was drunk as a skunk. But here I am today, ready to put on a good show for you, to get you out of the funk, to stimulate, to educate, to titillate your mind. Follow me if you must. Now, if you can't, you know where the button is. Hit stop and go do something else. Maybe it'll be better than this podcast. It probably will. But if you want to hang in there with me, join me. This week, I want to talk to you guys about the importance of self-worth. Self-worth has always been a struggle for me. I've mostly had a hold on my self-esteem. There are a few bits that could always be worked on, and I feel like a lot of people could do the same as well. So I thought maybe if I show you my struggles, then that will help you improve yours. Or maybe it will help you improve on how you can tell me how I can fix myself. So I heard that clip from Viola Davis, who is an amazing actress, talking about self-worth and how it's important for everyone. And this week, we just have to talk about the elephant in the room. I know it's fucking everywhere. I've been doing my best to put in a few bits and pieces here and there on social media. But I've been trying to kind of just stay away from it, not because I'm trying to deny what it is, because these are just the facts that African American people do struggle with the police department and law enforcement and jail. We are the most incarcerated group of people in prison. So this week, a man by the name of George Floyd was held down by a police officer for 9 minutes, and eventually he died. He suffocated. The officer had his knee across his carotid artery, which is a no-no in any sense of the word. You just know that you do not put any sort of pressure on the carotid artery at any time. If you're in a jiu-jitsu match and you use this move, once they tap or once they go limp, you let go. And I watched this video. I'm sure most of you have. You see this, you cannot believe that this individual is screaming out for help, what little screaming he could do, because he's basically dying under this cop's knee. But the fact that 4 other officers did nothing about it, including the one who had his knee on his neck. I don't want to mention this person's name. I'm sure you guys know who this scumbag is. As a human being of value, of self-worth, you understand that even though this person may or may not have committed a crime, allegedly he was committing some sort of fraud, or he tried to pay with something with a counterfeit bill or whatnot, that never constitutes a hold like George was put in. We've had several people counterfeit at my work, pass counterfeit bills, and we've called the police, and they were African American as well. The police did not do that to them. They politely put them in the car, and that was the end of it. For some reason, this garbage cop, or I should say garbage cops, because none of them did anything. They just stood there and watched this guy die. But particularly these 2 individuals, one was a Caucasian cop who had his knee across George's neck, and the other was an Asian cop who just stood there watching the other people film George die. And as this man is struggling to breathe and he's telling you he can't breathe, you've got 4 other cops there. You can let him up. I've watched plenty of live PD. I have seen police basic training. I have almost participated in police basic training, but I could not get over the wall. My fat ass could not get over the wall, but that's neither here nor there. There are just certain procedures that you should be doing, and you have already apprehended this man, whether he resisted arrest or did not. If he is telling you that he cannot breathe after the 3rd time, after the 2nd or 3rd time, you got to pick my man's up off the ground, and you got to place him against the cop car or open the door and put him inside. Okay. But you've got him pinned on the pavement. He can't breathe. You're also using the cop car as another blocking thing, restricting him from turning. So it was just pretty horrific to see that. And why a lot of times I really don't post this kind of behavior on social media is because this stuff is scary to me. I have had personal run-ins with the police, and I would say out of the maybe once, 1 out of the 4 times that I've had to deal with the police was pleasant, I would say. The other 3 times were the most embarrassing, unnecessary, detained experiences I have had. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Back to Mr. George. What I can say is, as I watched this film happen, that this could happen to anybody, and specifically your dear host, Ryan Bopra, who is African American. This kind of behavior, not where I've been pinned to the ground like that, but I've been placed in the back of a squad car for no reason a few times. And yes, they were Caucasian cops, and their reasoning to hold me was not fair. I'm not sure. I'm seeing on the internet, I don't know if it's real or not real. Supposedly this cop knew this guy. I'm not sure about that. According to other police records, Floyd had a prior run-ins with the law, robbery, held a lady at gunpoint, had participated in some serious behavior, some unhealthy behaviors, and had moved to Minneapolis to sort of start his life over. And here he is being held down by a white cop. I'm just telling y'all what I'm seeing here. And what pops up into my mind is that this kind of behavior has never, not to this extent that I've seen, and I've watched a lot of cops growing up as a kid. I've watched hours of live PD. I have never seen this kind of behavior happen to a Caucasian criminal or person. I can't say criminal because I don't precisely know why he was detained in that way. Generally speaking, and I'm just saying what I'm saying here because I know all races listen to this show, so I don't want to, I'm doing my best not to offend everybody when I'm saying this and trying not to use generalizations just like I did before. So I'll just say, I have never seen a Caucasian person be held to the ground with their knee on top of their neck, their carotid artery, and being held down until they died. I've never seen that happen. But I have seen quite a few cases of African American males being held down on the ground until they die. Like, this is not a new behavior practiced by the police. I've seen, or I've heard about actually, specifically another situation probably about 20 years ago. Outside of my dad's church, there was a young African American lady who was gunned down in front of the church. Police supposedly said that she had a weapon, and they shot her 20 times. And come to find out, she didn't. I believe the young lady's name was Taisha Tyler. If I'm not mistaken, y'all can look that up and then hit me up later. But the point is, I'm used to this kind of behavior. This is not shocking to me, which is sad. I know that when I leave my house, I have to account for, okay, who is going to do some shit and then blame me for it because I'm black. Shortly after I saw this video, it was like the same day, if not the next day, there was a Caucasian lady who called the police on an African-American man who was bird watching at Central Park. And all he asked this lady to do was to put her dog on the leash because they were in a part of a park that has to have dogs leashed because there are extinct birds there. And this lady, which is completely disgusting, but typical for this kind of behavior, this racist behavior. Calls the police claiming that this African American man is going to hurt her or that she's in trouble and he's threatening her. And meanwhile, she does not have her dog on the leash. She's holding it by the collar and it's choking the dog. Since that video went viral, this lady has been fired from her job, and the place that she adopted the dog from found out and took the dog back. Thank God. And just today, I posted some African American males working out in a gym, and this Caucasian man doesn't believe that they live in that building and starts to call the police on them. I am not sure what inspires certain Caucasian individuals to take on the role as boss of what African American people are doing. I don't know who bestowed this crown to you or badge to you where you think that you need to call 911 every time you see black people doing something. Like, I'm from the school of mind your own goddamn business. Are they trying to hurt you? Are they trying to hurt you? Are they breaking the law? That's none of your business what they're doing there. Going there, oh, do you live here? Prove that you live here. What? What are you talking about? How would you like it if the role was reversed? You wouldn't like it. So why are you doing that to these African American males working out in the gym? Everybody's just working out in the gym. Now, if they said some shit to you that's uncalled for, that should be stopped. But to call the police and start asking questions whether or not this and that person lives in the building, it's none of your fucking business. It's none of your fucking business. If you don't want to be in a gym with black people, then leave. Just leave. Don't call the police. Just leave. If they stole something, that's different. But they didn't steal anything. They're just working out. And you're just being an asshole. Before this killing of George Floyd, last week, a FedEx worker was confronted by some homeowners thinking that he was casing the neighborhood that he was delivering packages to. My guy is wearing a FedEx t-shirt. He's driving a FedEx truck. He's not there to rob the place. He's doing his job. He just wants to do his job and go home. And they had him blocked in there, calling the police, saying that he was casing the joint. It's just, it happens over and over and over and over again. Now, the last two stories that I mentioned to you, these individuals managed to get away. But the first two, they did not. The police killed them. Aisha Tyler shot 20 times. George Floyd choked to death by a police officer who was completely unremorseful. I'm telling you, when you put somebody in a hold, I am a practitioner of jiu-jitsu, and when you put somebody in a hold, I can tell you from firsthand experience, it does not sound pleasant. It should give you deuce chills when you hear and you feel someone gasping for air. I have rolled around with a younger student at the gym who, he's a great kid. And his age, he's right at the age where you start to think that you're hot shit, that your shit don't stink. And you don't possess the reasoning to understand why people don't want to be around you or have to then kind of bring you down a notch because of your ego. You're a younger male and your hormones are running and you think you're hot shit. Cool. So we started rolling around and I got my man in a deep head and arm choke, which is of course across the carotid artery, just like George Floyd here. And I had it in extremely tight. And the more he struggled, the tighter it got. And I could feel his sense of panic, not only from his body language and his motions, but just I could feel his heartbeat in the crook of my arm. And then I'm listening to him as I'm holding this choke and he's fighting and doing all this stuff. And then he stops moving. He stops panicking and I can hear a gurgle. When you hear that somebody grasping for air, that right at that second, I heard that and he went limp. I let go. Let me tell you, I felt terrible because he didn't come back to class for a while. And I have reason to believe that scared the shit out of him. It scared the shit out of me. It wasn't the first time. I've been in an actual fight with a friend of mine who was completely belligerently drunk and had him in a rear naked choke, did everything wrong. I told him, do not stand up or the choke will get deeper. And he stood up with me on his back. I'm over 250 pounds, fam. I'm north of 250. And my friend stood up with me on his back and that choke got deeper and there wasn't even a gurgle. He just blacked out and we both fell to the ground. He was passed out. And in that second, I let go. Once we hit the ground, I let go because I knew he was out. And I knew that at that point in time, I then had to go into rescue mode and start to wake him up. Because if he didn't wake up from that choke, he'd be dead. Passed out. He went without oxygen to the brain from a choke. This officer applying this kind of force is completely unacceptable. There is no excuse, nowhere in the police handbook, nowhere in training that you are taught to hold that part of the neck. He might resist. Again, I'm not a cop. I'm just going by what I have seen, what I've experienced. I have relatives that are cops. You could have lifted him up with the handcuffs and put him against the car. You could have, maybe, let's just say for the sake of the conversation, he was a resisting arrest, over a forgery resisting arrest. I find that very highly unlikely, but let's just say it. Even if he resisted arrest, this officer had clearly assumed control over the situation. And he was not resisting anymore. The only resisting he was doing was because he couldn't breathe. And this cop did not care. He even egged him on to stand up. How can a man stand up if you're standing on his neck? You stupid. You fucking dope. Let him up. Rest him against the car or put him in the back of the squad car. I've seen that before. People that will resist for a little bit, they just pick him up off the ground. All four of the cops throw him in the back of the car and let him squirm around in the back of the car. The fact that this has happened again and will keep happening again because, unfortunately, officers only get about 6 months of training or so, and then they just throw them out in the world. B, you've got some individuals who are not psychologically fit to, quote unquote, protect and serve, or as I like to call, infect and swerve. Come to find out, this cop has had another situation in another police department. So we already knew that this was a bad cop to begin with. A bad cop. And how he was allowed to still continue to be a cop after the experiences he has had prior to this is incredibly shocking. I'm deeply saddened by this. I can't change the color of my skin. George can't change the color of his skin. Trayvon Martin can't change the color of his skin. We can go on here. Time and time again, a lot of African American people are being killed due to the mistreatment of police, mishandling situations. I'm not sure how this can be fixed. And why is it when it is an African American that the utmost use of force is used versus a Caucasian American? I'm not sure how this happens. I guess that I can say part of it has got to do with racism and ignorance. Okay, I'll just say it has to be racism because this continues to happen to African American people. I didn't want to just blow up the whole show with this, but God damn it, it's so fucking bad, and it will continue to get worse as long as there are ignorant people out there. And I want you to know, if you listen to this show, I want you to know that you listening to this, you're worth it. If you are African American, you are worth it. If you're a Caucasian, you're worth it. If you are Hispanic, you're worth it. Asian, may I go on? We're all human beings at the end of the day, whether you've got a badge or not. The part of your humanity should step in and say, I am doing more harm than good. Stop. The other officers that stood there should have been, stop, man. You've done enough. Stop. You are not being a human being. Take the badge away and just stop for a minute. You are holding a man down on the ground until he dies. Just stop. I hate to do all of these labels and things, but I'll just tell you, as an African American, this shit ain't easy at all. My experiences, like I said earlier, I've been detained before by a cop. I've had cops ask me what I'm doing in this part of town in the morning, in a reasonable time. 7:00 in the morning. What are you doing at this side of town? Going to school, fuckface. What the fuck does it look like I'm doing? Obviously, you don't know me, but I'm on my way to school. Do you mind, asshole? A lot of times, based on that experience, or that one and a couple other ones, has led me to nearly have a panic attack when I see a cop, because I'm just like, okay, cool. When is this guy going to pull me over? When? One time when I got pulled over by a cop, I immediately started panicking and shaking. And my mom was like, what is wrong with you? And the cop was like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. You need to suck it up or some kind of crap like that. And my mom was like, excuse me, what you're writing a ticket for? We just saw another individual do the exact same thing. Yeah, well, I only saw you. Oh, okay, cool. Well, give me the fucking ticket and let's get out of here. Oh, well, you just don't need to be weird around cops. It's okay. Like, what? How am I supposed to feel good about being pulled over by a cop when 3 other times before, I've been pulled over by a cop for no fucking reason and detained. So when I'm getting pulled over again for a bullshit ticket, a window tint ticket, how the fuck am I supposed to feel? It's not even about the window tint at this point. I'm worried about, okay, is this the last time I'm going to see my mom? Am I going to get shot? Is my mom going to get shot? How am I supposed to feel? Officer, are you going to be on your best behavior? Or are you going to be one of these fucking pricks that kills African American people? That is what goes through my mind when I see blue and reds in the back of my mirror. Whew. I want people to understand that we as human beings, we have to just do better. We are all worth it. Now, obviously, if you're a fucking pedophile or you just constantly do bad shit, well, you're just a scumbag piece of shit, and you are excluded from that rule. You are not worth it. But the rest of us, trying to do good things out here, trying to keep it together, trying not to get arrested, trying to be a good ally to people, trying to be a good citizen to the world, trying to teach your kids to do good things and inspire and create and be better. That is worth it to me. Obviously, somebody might disagree listening to this, and cool, do your thing. But people who are ignorant, who are air quotes racist, because really that racism just stems from being ignorant. You have to understand that that race that you don't like, they're worth it as much as you are. We all have a place. We all have a duty in our community. And that community is human beings and getting this shit done. Getting it together. You don't have to like anybody, but you also don't have to be hateful. Hatred has never solved a goddamn thing. All it's done is created more hate, more fuel to the fire. This cop who put his knee on Floyd's neck, he's a hater, straight up. Racist hater. My God, what on earth happened to your childhood where you would take another man's life who couldn't defend himself? Absolutely just, it is just fucking shameful. I hate that this has to come down to a black-white thing. I hate that. But the truth of the matter is, it is. Some ignorant-ass people doing ignorant shit and ruining it for the rest of everybody. Just like there are some African American people who get up to some shit, get into trouble, and do bad things. Now you got cops out there thinking that all of us are bad. And then when cops do stupid shit like this, you got people out here thinking all cops are bad. Abacat. I know for a fact, not all cops are bad, but let me tell you, the ones that are bad, they are really bad, and they are fucking ruining it for the rest. When this crackhead back in November tried to break into my house, and people were like, call the police. I'm like, you don't understand how I've grown up. You call the police in a black neighborhood, they ain't coming. They're not coming. That's the truth. That's what I grew up on. You just have to take care of it yourself. The only time the cops are coming is when they're coming to they're going to the 2 blocks in Shitts Bernardino that are protected where the mayor lives. There's 2 blocks with a golf course, the country club. If they make a phone call, the cops are there in 5 minutes. And I bet they're probably arresting an African American person, which is hella fucked up. Prior to this, a week prior to this, we had Uncle Joe, who I used to love. I used to love Barack and Uncle Joe. And then, since 2016, since this other Cheeto has been in office, and I've just been listening to different political podcasts, Obama wasn't that good either. Obama and Uncle Joe were just part of the game as well. And now Uncle Joe is running for president again. And guess what? He told Charlemagne the God that if you don't vote for him, if you still have to think about whether or not to vote for Joe Biden against Trump, then you're not black enough. And the smile on his face after he said it, like he didn't think he said anything wrong, it's disturbing. You're not black enough? If you don't vote for me, you're not black enough? Oh, so is my skin just gonna fall off, dude? Like, what the fuck is this, man? Joe Biden trying to so desperately get black people votes when he's the one that wrote the crime bill to incarcerate more African American people. Not specifically writing, go out and arrest more black people, but extending sentences. This stupid ass crime bill making people who do commit crimes harsher and tougher sentences, building up more prisons. Who do you think is in those prisons, Joe Biden? Black people. It's mostly black people. When the time has come to air quotes step up for black people, he's over here writing new policies in Congress to keep black people incarcerated. It's just, the more and more I hear it, the more I want to get out of here. This is some bullshit, y'all. I can't deal with this. I just can't. This is a problem that I'm not going to say that I'm going to ignore, but it's just such a burden that I live with every day. I do my best to not commit any crimes, to not give a reason for an officer to double back and pull me over because I already know what's going to happen. Your dear host, Rambo, has a slim to none chance coming back if I get pulled over by a cop. Okay? I've gotten lucky 4 times. I don't think there'll be a 5th time. Honestly, the way that shit is going, it's your dear host potentially runs the risk of getting iced by a cop. Because I don't know, this guy's had a bad day or he don't like black people and he just fucking shoots me for no reason. I posted on social media today that I've been taught to hold my hands up since 1988. Hands up. And that's the goddamn truth. As young as I can remember, I've had a chat with my parents. What to do when? Because it's going to happen. When you get stopped by a cop, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to say. That's horrible. I don't think there are too many other races having this discussion with their children. Oh, this is what you need to do when you get stopped by a cop. Just so you know. It sucks. It fucking sucks. It's super shitty. This shouldn't be that way, but here we fucking are. My thoughts, the only way to really stop this shit is to educate your children, teach them well, My DMs are always open if you want to yell at me or argue, or we can have some sort of discussion at GenT523 IG and Twitter. Let's have a chat. I don't care what race you are. That's never been an issue for me. I mean, obviously, if you listen to my show, you already know where I stand as far as dating. But other than that, I want everyone to get along as best that they can. Obviously, I know that people are they're just gonna like some people and you're not gonna like some others, and it is what it is. But I'd rather you not like somebody based on their behavior rather than the color of their skin. Just keep that in mind. I don't hang out with certain individuals based on their behavior. I don't listen to the words that certain individuals who behave in a manner I don't agree with or like. I don't listen to them. They can talk to me till they're blue in the face, and I will not listen to what they have to say, nor will I do what they say. But the rest of the individuals who practice good behavior, who are not douchebags, who are just honest, who just want to know the truth, who want to get to the bottom of this and how we can fix this. Having conversations is how you fix this. I have seen on the internet some of these conversations, though, are a little out of hand, and they're just downright nasty. They're just attacking either white people or white people attacking black people, or maybe if you didn't act this way, this wouldn't happen, or maybe if you weren't a Karen, this, that, and the other, or my air quotes dear friend today throwing the Becky word to me, and then calling me a racist. Now, I hope to God this individual is joking, but this ain't the time and place to be doing that, and I just really think you got to check yourself. There needs to be a serious conversation that needs to be had, and it needs to happen now, because if you keep hiding or censoring this type of conversations, then people just won't know. And so I think if you have an African American friend, chat with them. See what you can do to be helpful. If you have a Caucasian friend, reach out to them. Let's have a chat. Let's work on some stuff. Let's come together on this shit. We don't have to be divided. We're all on the same team. We may not look the same, but we are on the same team, and that team is human. So please, for the love of God, get it together, people. It's enough with the negativity. It's enough with the pointing. She said this, he did this. Somebody died this week. I just heard today another young lady in Atlanta was shot. Same kind of situation with police. These things are going to keep happening if we don't have these conversations. Obviously, hurt people, and my job with this show has always been to provide some sort of content that was truthful. And the truth is that I state this truth. It might be my truth, or it might be an actual truth. And in the hopes of bringing all of us listening or participating together. That's it. I just want people to figure it the fuck out. You don't have to be a racist prick because your dad was a racist prick, or you don't have to be ignorant. You can learn. You can educate yourself. You can ask questions. Be polite. Maybe when you ask questions to someone, say, hey, is this a good time? Doesn't matter if they're black or white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever. Say, hey, is this a good time? I'm just curious about some things. Or I want to know this about you. Tell me about your culture. Be polite if you want to know. I think everything has a time and a place. And right now, there are just so many hurt people out there with this virus bullshit, with this lockdown bullshit. It seems like we're getting to the end of this lockdown shit, which is phenomenal because it fucking sucked. And then now the emotions are running high with the death of George Floyd. Please, please, please have conversations. You don't have to be violent to have a conversation with someone. You can express how you're feeling. Look, I have the show because I'm trying to express what I'm feeling before I hit the door. That's the real. Before they put me 6 feet under, here is my 2 cents because I need this to get out. Because if I didn't do something like this, who knows where I would be? Whew, what kind of trouble I would be in? Whew. Sometimes my words might get me in trouble on here, but for the most part, I still live to see another day. Now that is over, the heavy shit, please feel free, if you need to have a chat with me. My door is always open. My DM door is always open. Obviously, if you are a Russian bot, and I say Russian, that doesn't make me racist because this is the truth. This is the fucking truth. If you're a Russian bot who keeps trying to send me porn or to tell me to chat here or there or two streets down dumb fuck road, get out of my life. I cannot stand you. You are the biggest piece of shit on Instagram. For real. Every fucking day. Hey, chat here. Hey, me likey, come here. Like, what? I don't know who the fuck you are. Stop it. Get the fuck out of here with this shit. Oh my God. Hi. Let's talk more closely. Bitch, I'll talk more closely, all right. Let me borrow my mom's 45. Get the fuck out of here. I can't stand that shit. You fucking scammers. I honestly, I truly believe these fucking people who send you these pornographic messages in the DM every fucking day. This is like some serious sex trafficking kind of shit going on. And this is the best part. And this is hypothetical, of course. I like how on Instagram, DJs cannot play their music unless it's all chopped up or whatever. DJs or anybody can't play music in their live feed. But you got these bitch ass bitches who are asking you to come talk closer, and you click on their link and it's fucking sex trafficking straight up. I can't 100% say that because I have not clicked on these links. I block these pieces of garbage right away. But I have a strong feeling, a gut in mi panza, and I have a big ass panza. These little shitheads are sex traffickers or child porn, some kind of shit, because it's like, come talk closely, or I have pics. Like, what? Okay, Instagram, you allow this shit, but you don't allow people to play music on here. Okay. Yep. Got it. Fucking scumbags. All right. I am fucking exhausted, but I'm going to round this off with some UFC picks. Racist rant over. First off, I've got Caitlin choke again. She will not choke again against Antonia Shevchenko. Antonia Shevchenko, you should recognize the Shevchenko name, and that is because that is Valentina Shevchenko's half-sister. And now, what we know about these two siblings, or I should say half-sister, is that Antonia is not one of the better fighters of the Shevchenko clan, okay? So you're going to take Caitlin choke again. She might choke again, but I'm telling you, I have a gut in me panza that Caitlin will get the upset because Antonia, time and time again, even though she's won her last fight, her fighting is just completely dog shit. You are clearly in the UFC because of your sister. I hate to say it, but it is what it is. Next, Hola, mami. Mucho gusto. It is Mackenzie. Make it clap. We make it clap. Make it clap. Mackenzie Make It Clap Dern versus Hannah Kleifers. Mackenzie Dern should get this done, but this is kind of a double-edged sword bet. This is what you can do. You can bet on Dern. I'm betting on Hannah just for the upset. Dern should win, but Dern striking is so bad. So bad. Oh my God. Holy cheese. I, as a Patty McFatty, who used the YouTube to teach myself how to box, and I can box better than Mackenzie Dern. Listen, Mackenzie Dern, though, is a BJJ ADDC Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion. She is a monster on the ground. Kudos to you. But fights start standing, mija, and your striking is trash. Es la basura. Garbage. So, two-way bet, you can go on Dern because she could take her to the ground and just easily submit her because she is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Or that Hannah Kleifers will shock the world and manage to stay up on the feet and knock her ass out. You decide. Next, I've got Roosevelt Roberts versus Brock Weaver. Roosevelt Roberts, 19-1. Brock Weaver, 14-4. You gotta go for a black guy named Roosevelt. Come on, just that name alone. Oh, shit. You know he's gonna be doing it. You know he's gonna be doing it tomorrow. He's gonna be all riled up. Roosevelt coming through. Teddy Roosevelt Roberts. Let's get it done. Next, we've got Billy Quantillo versus Spike Carlisle. Oh, God is an awesome God. Listen, any guy who is possessed in the name of Jesus, like Spike Carlisle is, you do not you do not bet against this man. I'm telling you, I'm saying this with peace and love. Peace and love, peace and love. My man Spike Carlisle, the last time he got on the mic and was like, "Oh, nobody but Espiritu Santi." He was like fucking shouting out all the, "Our God is an awesome God." He was going to town. He was like, "And God so loved the world that he became his only begotten son, and who shall ever believe in him shall not perish but have everlasting life." He was gone. His eyes fucking rolled in the back of his head. He was talking about God. He didn't care that he want to fight, and he knocked the dude out viciously. He just grabbed the mic from Joe Rogan and was like, "No mane Padre Espiritu Santi." So please, you cannot, I'm saying this, you gotta vote for Spike. You gotta pick Spike. You gotta bet on Spike. Because my man's is possessed by the Lord, Jesus Christ himself. You cannot stop Jesus. Our God is an awesome God. Next, we've got the Blagoyev Ivanov versus Augusto Sakai. Blagoyev sounds like my favorite Korean barbecue meat I love to eat. Beef bulgogi Ivanov versus Augusto Sakai. I'm going to go with Blagoyev for the win here. And finally, falling in and out of love, in and out of love with you. Falling in and out of love. Tyron Woodley and his shitty raps versus Gilbert Burns. I don't know what the fuck happened to Tyron Woodley. He just went Hollywood so quick, like 0 to 60. Once he got that belt, he just became a weirdo. Maybe he was a weirdo this whole time and I just didn't see it, but I know the old Tyron Woodley from Strikeforce that was dominant and humble. And once he won that UFC belt, he's like, "Yeah, I'm a star. Uncle Dana doesn't promote me because I'm black." Like, what? Yeah, I'm going on TMZ because I'm cool. I got rap songs. Listen my new jam. Falling in and out of love, in and out of love with you. Falling in and out of love. Yo, fam, you are done, son. You're out. Shooter, you are out. God damn it. And I kicked her ass to the curb. I'm going with Gilbert Burns because he seems like he is enjoying his fight life. Like Tyron Woodley just seems very miserable. He doesn't give a fuck either way. He thinks the UFC's out to get him because he's black. Whoop-de fucking whoop. There's a whole load of drama with this cat. Gilbert Burns has just been begging to get a title shot, and demolishing people, fucking knocking people out left and right. Let's go, Brazil. Gilbert Burns, I believe he will get the upset on T. Woods. So, to wrap up my UFC picks, Caitlin Choke again, Mackenzie Dern or Hannah Kleifers, Roosevelt Roberts, Spike Carlisle, Blagoev, Ivanov, and Gilbert Burns. Those are your UFC picks. I've got some sound clips for you. Let me see what I've got. Okay, so I decided to go for a run for the first time, A, since I hurt my leg in March, and B, I haven't jogged outside in ages. So I just became frustrated with working out inside, and I just decided that I'm going to go for a run. I'm feeling it. I'm going to go for a run. And as I was running, I had a couple of ideas and thoughts come into my mind, and I will play that for you.
I think it's really important today that everybody gets some exercise in, self-reflect, and just be a good human. So much negativity out there. Just sick of it. Just go for a run. Be happy. I mean, we can't be happy all the time, but just celebrate the good things in life. Stop over celebrating the bad stuff. It's the worst. Hashtag the worst. All right, back to my run. My first run since March because my leg's been fricked up. Bye, friends. Have a good...
Here's Uncle Joe telling Charlemagne the God that if you have to decide between him and Trump, you're not black.
Long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community. I would love to see.
And he's just fucking smiling. He's just fucking smiling like a clown. Like, bro, you are trash. For real. You are trash, fam. Here is the man who, he sounds like fucking Dr. Evil, and I don't want to say that because then that would imply that he's white, but he is white. And he's calling the police on these black guys exercising in the same gym as him. Here we go.
What'd you say we can't do?
I'm Tom Austin. I'm a tenant in the building. Are you?
We're all tenants in this building.
What office?
Don't worry about that. We don't say.
What office?
So we have an office here, and this guy came accusing us we can't be here.
What office are you in?
Don't worry about that. We don't have to tell you.
I'm calling 911 now.
Go ahead.
I'm calling 911 then. Like, oh my God, just mind your own goddamn business, you mort. It's just... so stupid.
Enough. We're not doing this anymore. I'm not having this anymore. Enough. Get up.
Enough. I want to tell you something positive. I'm getting better at my DJ stuff. And here is a sample. See, all I love is music. Music brings everyone together. Black, white, Asian, brown, yellow, whatever the fuck. Whatever race you are. If you like music and you like to dance, then you're cool with me. You don't want any drama. You just want to have a good time and laugh with your friends and your family and dance. That's what I like to do. I just like to play music and dance and have a good time. And I feel like that, if more people did that, they'd feel better. They wouldn't be so nasty to each other. Don't be nasty to your friends, to your family, to strangers. Be kind. Be kind. And you know that everybody, unless you're a kid toucher or a fucking downright serial killer, you're worth it. So just those two people are excluded from the conversation. I think that it's time. It is business hours in London, and I must go. Please like, share, and subscribe to Rambo Radio, RamboRadio.com. Tell a friend, but only if you're cool. No negative Nancy's, no sensitive Sally's. Radio for truth sayers and lie slayers. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope this was better than last week. But if it was too heavy for you, go and listen back to last week. I was just pretty much drunk and playing sound clips. God damn it. I'll give you my recipe for my drunken madness. It was Pinot Grigio with Pinot Grigio with pineapple, frozen pineapple, Pinot Grigio and pineapple. Put it in the blender, mix it up, get wasted. God damn it. Oh, man. Hope you enjoyed the show, but if not, go back and listen to something else that's terrible from Rambo for Radio. But until next time, this is Rambo for Radio.
Positive vibes, peace and tranquility. Let's all be friends.
Josh is one of my closest boys in it, and I'm not too happy about that claw on his neck.
I don't give a shit. Why are you? What the fuck's this?
Imagine what she would do to you in bed.
Let's do this
Club quarantine is at my house. If you're my friend, you should come over sometime when this lockdown's over. Oh, freestyle, Rambo for Radio After Hours. Let's go. DJ Genty, that's my DJ page at DJ Genty523. Make your way over there. Watch me spin some tunes. Get your dance on. Have some fun. That's what's up. Until next time, see you next week. Peace.